All right, we are back with another episode of Don't Hit Send. Paul B. Knight here. I have Cheska here, and I have JB here with me. And the first topic we are going to get into is, are you too picky? Are you too picky, meaning could that perhaps be the reason why you're still single? Yes. So I want JB. I want JB to start this one out. I definitely want him to start this out because he already shaking his head.
Yeah.
With the look of disgust.
You already know the answer. The answer, yeah. Everybody is way too picky, and it's unfortunate because the only thing I feel like you should be picky about is standards and morals. If it's anything to do with appearance, you gotta let it go. I don't care. I know everybody goes, "Oh man, I want somebody I can wake up to every day." The morals and standards are number one. And unfortunately, you can't dictate what somebody will and won't do for you. So the best way I can compare this, let's say you got 10 people that all meet your standards and morals, right? Well, what's the only difference between this guy and the next guy? They all, per se, got the right thing. But the one thing I think people miss out too is who's willing to go the hardest for you? Who's willing to go the extra mile? So if they all meet your standards, well, one guy will be willing to drive an hour to drop off chicken to you. Another guy, he gonna be like, "Hey, I'll get the Uber. I'll have them drop it off." Everybody's going to have their own way of how they do these things. But what you'll notice is that the deeper you get in a relationship, the more it requires for you to be available. So maybe he don't got a problem with getting the Uber for you, but he got a problem with being there emotionally for you, mentally available for you. There are other things that he's not doing that well in. So he might be attractive. He might look great, but he sucks in 20 other areas. But this is where people get caught up is now you focus on the looks. You'll let things slide for him or her in this case because they're so attractive that it's like, oh, well, I can let that go. So the pickiness that you should be going hard for, you're not going hard for morals and standards. And usually the more attractive they are, the better they look, the easier it is to say, it's okay, I'll let that go. It's okay, I'll let that slide. And that's the problem. If you were just as picky on morals and standards as you were looks, everybody would pick better people. But because I am now turned off, I don't find you that attractive. I don't like the way he talks. Here's a good one. He's corny or they lame. All of these things have absolutely nothing to do with determining if they're going to be a good mate, they're going to be a good father, a good wife, blah, blah, blah. So to me, everybody and their mama is picky. And this is why we have these conversations online, because can't nobody find nobody. And then here's the other part, and I'm going to end it like this. Once you get them, it's even harder to keep them. So just because you've got some good for the first year, don't mean that y'all be done in 5 years. So now those morals and standards is what's going to keep you together. Because I look terrible compared to the way I looked in high school. But I'm also going on 18 years of marriage. And I look terrible with my wife, who don't care what I look like. Don't care that I have 12 teeth taken out at one time. I'm toothless. If I was single right now,
you don't look terrible.
Man, if I was single right now and they found out I ain't got no teeth, it's a wrap. If they knew right now, man, he ain't got no teeth. But you know who loved me and my no having teeth self?
Your wife.
The person that married me when I was younger.
You love him no teeth.
No, yeah. So that's just my overall message is that looks don't matter, and we already know. I know him for sure. Looks is at the top of his list.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you probably adjusted it like this.
No, looks is not at the top of my list. At one point, yeah. I mean, I needed, who I'm dealing with to be a certain way. My thought process changed the older and older I've got. And so with getting older, you just realize that you gotta have the same energy for whoever it is you're dealing with. I don't care if you think that this particular woman is drop dead gorgeous, or if you think this one is an 8 and you think this one's a 6, or you think whatever. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go off of who a person is and how they move and what they actually stand on. So yeah, my thought process on that has changed tremendously. Now, could I be with somebody who I just can't look at? Absolutely not. I'm sorry, brother. I can't do that. I gotta be able. It's something about you has to attract me to you.
I actually agree. I agree on that front. No, seriously. There has to be, and I'm not asking you to look like freaking Boris Cujo, Morris Chess. I'm not. I personally, I need to be attracted to you. There has to be some sort of attraction, and it's not
right.
Because like I'm expecting everything. It's for me personally. And I'll tell you what the problem is. Sorry, I kind of cut you off and jumped in because I have a lot. I have a lot of thoughts right now.
It's all good.
I gotta get it out. But the problem, I think one of the problems that's like just happening with us as a society is the illusion of options. Think about it. We got Tinder, Bumble, Facebook dating, Hinge, all on our phone. So we're just like, no, I'm not dealing with them. And so it's the illusion of having so many options. When in reality, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people are trash. A lot of people have unhealed traumas. A lot of people have some baggage. Like, it's just an illusion. We didn't have this back in the day, like back in the 90s or whatever, because, I was young, obviously, but I'm saying, like, society didn't have this, like, thing to where it's like, oh, yeah, no, I got this, I got that. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. It's like, no one's asking you to settle, but at the same time, and I'm looking at you, PK, because I've seen you write some statuses about this.
About what?
When you listen. When you, let's say you're talking and you're dating someone, they are eventually going to do something that's going to annoy you or that's going to piss you off. But are you going to be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not dealing with it. Or are you going to be like, okay, they're human. Like, I'm annoyed, but at the same time, I'm still rocking with this person. I still want to get to know this person. I'm still with this, whatever the case may be. But it's like people are still, I think we talked about this before. They're just so quick to just cut it off. And so there's that imbalance between picky and having standards. No one's saying not to have standards, but it comes to a point where it's like, okay, am I being extra? Am I being like over the top? It's like, all right, I don't really like the shoes he wears, but am I going to leave him because of that? Or am I going to stick,
Yeah.
So it comes down to like little things, even little things I feel like right now. Maybe, I mean, that's just my opinion, but.
Yeah.
With you saying that, shoes, that's still outward is my point. If it's outward, the only thing outward that somebody should have that matters would be hygiene. Are they well kept, well groomed, well maintained?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily, if they don't brush their teeth, then that's a strike. But if they're well mannered.
Basic.
Well, of course, but I'm saying you take baths, you're clean, you get up. Most people, let's say for example, if you go to an office, are usually have prepped themselves for that office that day, took in showers, did this, got cologne. I'm saying if they meet those basic things, then what type of shoe, what type of outfit, jewelry, watches, golds in the mouth, all those different type of things are outward appearance. And what I'm saying is if you block somebody off and you cut them off because you didn't like the sweater or his style or her this, or I'm saying if they have the right standards and morals, that should trump something like that. That's what I'm saying. It should trump it, but it doesn't. You typically in those scenarios, you'll just get rid of the person and then move on. But if you haven't even verified that they have the right standards and morals, usually they'll never even get to that point because you've seen them walking through the office and was like, nah, I'm good. So you never really even got a chance to verify if he even or she has the type of morals and standards you would appreciate. So that's where I go with the picky, because the looks prevent you from even getting to know a person.
But do you agree that people, but do you agree that people need to at least have some sort of like something, attraction? Like, I'm not going to go for Smeagol. I don't care how. Yeah, like
standards are low, but I think most people on average are somewhere around a 5 or a 6. So to me, that's marriageable. I'm not even referring to somebody you view as a 1 or a 2. I'm talking about the typical average person usually is going to be somewhere around basic looking, which is regular than a mug.
But would you
like, even if you look at black dudes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, most black dudes go to the barbershop and get a haircut. What more could you ask for? He got a nice cut. He got a nice outfit on. So what I'm saying is, if we look at it from a basic level, most of the people that we interact with on a day-to-day basis aren't that attractive to begin with. They're usually just okay looking. And I'm saying a person that's okay looking should not get rejected. And we know most people are going for an 8, 9, or 10. That's the reality. The 5s and 6s are getting rejected. We're not talking about the 1s and the 2s. See, y'all talking about horrible looking people. I'm not talking about a horrible looking person. I'm talking about a regular average person, which is pretty much any guy you come in contact with. Any woman you typically come in contact with will at least be average. That's what I'm saying. And the people getting rejected are the average looking people.
But
the 8s, the 9s, and 10s have options. It's the 5s that can't get nobody. The 4s, the 3s, that's what I'm saying. And I'm not even saying that you wouldn't date a 5. I'm saying you probably would have never even gave the 5 a shot, because the 5 didn't even meet the standard. They didn't look enough. And that's usually what I'm saying, is that you rejected the person before you even got to know. That's where I'm at. Like, the looks cut you off. Like, you don't look at this level, boom. And then everybody that looks on this level, you'll give them time to get to know them. But all the people that don't meet your standard, you never even get a chance to get to know them. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And they're putting up with BS from like people they find 9, 10s over
Correct.
someone that could be amazing to them, and they're just like, all right, yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, because one thing I've definitely learned over all these years and all of that is that, again, like I said, you gotta give everybody the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be a one-sided situation. You know what I'm saying? And for me, in most cases, it'd be about who raised you. That's what it'd be about for me. It's about meaning, what's wrong with some of these people out here? They don't have no moral compass. Things of that particular nature. You know what I mean? And I'm not here to tell anybody what type of morals they should have, but I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to deal with, though. That's my thing. And the world we live in now, is it's chaotic, it's hectic, it's all over the place. There's no order in it anywhere, it almost feels like. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
No, my question is, how do you decipher? And I'm asking maybe for listeners that like probably have this question, but like, how do you decipher between being picky and having standards? Because you're mentioning, okay, I'm not going to accept this.
That's a great question.
There are people, there are people, not only just for you, but for others. Oh, you being too picky. It's like, but how do you like?
Okay, watch this. I have it there for you. If I'll give you an example. My daughter got rid of a guy. This is my oldest daughter, because his nose was too wide. Think about that. Think about that. I know for a fact this young brother was a qualified potential brother that got rejected off having a wide nose. Now, flip it. I also have asked her, you talking to a guy? Yes. Does he sag? Yes. Get rid of him. That's how quickly I eliminate. I asked my daughter one time, does he own a suit? No. Get rid of him. Because there's a certain standard that comes with certain things that people do. So we can make assumptions in some cases if it's a standard. So if you walking around sagging, I don't need to get to know you. I know I don't want you with my daughter. I know that immediately. But there's a lot of guys that's going to say, anything no wrong with sagging. You're just not the guy for my daughter. That is the standard. Does he own a suit? Well, where do people wear suits to? Church, business meetings, CEOs, entrepreneurs. Suits represent something. So if you don't own a suit, then I'm going to assume you have no reason to wear a suit. And if you have no reason to wear a suit, I'm just saying you can't date my daughter. This is what standards are. These are standards. So somebody could say, well, it doesn't matter. I could be a lovely guy and not own a suit. You're right. But that doesn't mean I would want that young man with my child, because I've already made an assumption that you probably don't go to church. You probably don't do these things because you have no need for a suit at all. Even when I played basketball in high school, they made us wear suits on game days.
Yeah.
So
Right. But
that's where you draw those lines between standard and versus, oh, I'm getting rid of him because his teeth too big, or his lip is this, or his hairline is stuck.
But what I will say is church is definitely totally different now.
Well, no, you can. Here's the thing. They say come as you are. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Just because your standard is come as you are, that ain't my standard.
And that's the thing about suits. I mean, someone could be, oh, he can't afford it, but there's thrift stores and so
it's not hard to get a suit.
Yeah.
If you want suits, it's not hard to get a suit.
Yeah, there's many options now.
If that's what if that's what you're into, that's what you want to do, it's out there. It's not hard to get a suit.
You ain't got to wear them every day, but when it's time, you got to be able to. That's what I'm saying. So that's how I eliminate. My daughter said, I like this guy. I said, does he do his homework? These are standards. No, he's on his phone all day. Then why you like him? Because he look good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the thing of it is that at the end of the day, so I've definitely been too picky in the past.
So wait. What did that look like? I'm curious. What did your picky look like? I'm just curious.
Well, I'll give you one is I know this fool know, and I already know he got one in his mouth. Like,
let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, so it was this one girl I was dealing with. I know he definitely know this story. No. I was dealing with, and at the time, what I thought at the time at least, nice woman, young lady, whatever, and all of that. And I stopped dealing with her because she had keloids.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then it was another. And then it was this when if your feet look bad, it's not happening for me.
See there we go, bro. Well, everybody help the feet they born with.
Well, okay.
It's true. That could go 50-50. Right.
Can't help it. And here's the thing: if they are tore up, they probably use them. So they could have did ballet. They could have been an athlete, sport. So if they do have messed up feet, they could have actually used them.
But what are they doing to try to get them looking like something? Then
Nah, when sometimes, especially ballet women, when
You
they,
gotta pay her a pedicure, get her,
I've seen some feet that ain't fixable, and then the other thing, check this out. Have you ever looked at your grandma's foot?
No.
They usually ain't looking that good in a lot of cases because they feet old. So over time, the foot eventually ends up not looking that good anyway. So you eventually gonna probably have bad looking feet. If you live long enough, your feet will get worse looking.
He's like Eddie Murphy and Boomerang. He was.
Yeah, but
So you couldn't be married to somebody for 40 years with bad feet.
It'd be like divorce.
but my thing is like for me, for me now, it's about morals. It's about
That's this question. Would you do it now, the bad feet?
how bad are we talking? That sounds like R. Kelly right now. It's like, what did he say? He said, "How old are we talking?"
Yeah. Two.
Right.
Okay, how about this? All the nails are black because they got fungus.
Really?
I couldn't do it.
Okay. You went all the way. You went from here to here.
I couldn't do that.
And
Fungus? Okay. Nah. See, now you're diving into hygiene right there. I gotta
maybe something happened that turned them black because that happens. It does happen.
That's just terrible. My thing is at the end of the day, a lot of people are single because they have unrealistic expectations.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I asked the question between standards and being picky. You have unrealistic expectations, and social media doesn't make it any better because you're expecting this and you want all this, and then it's just like, all right. Also, how are you inside? Like it's so many questions. Like,
and you know what? Go ahead and you bringing that up. We're gonna get to that next topic here in a minute because we kind of just hint at it. But all I'll say is on this particular topic is value who values you. Value who values you. If you're a person that cares about morals, I do. Everybody's different. Some people don't care. As long as you look good to them and they love the vibe, that's good for them, but that don't cut it for me because I cut people off. So,
yeah, but that vibe is getting people in trouble.
The vibe,
and that we had a good time together. That junk don't mean nothing. If I had to break it down, it's this simple. Once you set your standard, you could find someone that would meet your standard and your morals if you throw the looks in the trash. You cannot find a 6-figure earner that's a 7 or 8 that got the standards and the morals that you want. The standards and the morals that you want might be in a 3. Because what the other part of this story that people are missing is that if you only got 3 people that like you, you got to select from the 3 you got. Some people got 100 people that like them. Some people got millions. But if you only have a few interested people and you cut all them off chasing something else, you ain't going to get nobody no way. So if it just so happens that the 3 people like you are only a 3, a 4, and a 5, then well, you just got to deal with your 3, 4, and a 5. That's the other part that's making it bad for people out here. You rejecting the very small percentage of people that like you.
They like you in the first place. Exactly. Especially if you're a person that struggles in that area. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
I mean, like people who can't really get anybody.
Male,
you know what
Why? Because they're 2s?
Male or female. Yeah, either way.
I mean, let's be for real. If we're having this conversation, everybody's saying, I got to be attracted to them. How many of people admit that they not attracted?
Admit what?
How many if there's 8 billion people in the world.
But you know,
What per-
but no.
what-
You know when you're not attractive, though. You know that when you're not. Are you saying
But
that?
is, but is anybody acting like they know it though?
Not
Because I
outward,
can't say though that anybody know that. If you ask a woman if she a 10, they say 10 every time. We've seen enough clips on the internet to know. I know you see them. There's enough clips of women on the internet going, "I'm a 10."
Maybe outwardly, but like people know like their level of attraction.
Okay.
I feel like unless they're either a narcissist or whatever. But
Okay, so
But the thing of it is, and it is it's truth to that, Cheska. Well, what I will say is, and like this just comes with getting older and age. You would like looks are subjective.
yeah, that's true.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true,
Like,
because I
so-
could think. So, for example, I know where you're going. I can think you're like the. You're not ugly, PK, but I'm saying I could think you're the finest, like just like like Morris Chestnut. Like I am so attracted to you, but there's another girl that's just like he alright, but I'm like, what are you talking about? He's fine. Like what?
There's a lot of like Michael B. Jordan to a lot of women that they find him attractive, but it's crazy. Like over these last few years, and not again social media. This is where I see this stuff. It's like I just don't see it, and so it just goes to show you people. I mean, at the end of the day, people like who they like. At the end of the day, people like who they like. Now, I do agree. I'm gonna say this real quick, and I got you, JB. And what I do agree back with what Cheska's saying is, you kind of know at least at some point what your limits are. At some point. Because you know at some point what your limits are. Like, you can't get that. You can't get that.
that's
You know what
true.
I mean?
But
Some people.
But here's the point: when you talk about a Michael B. Jordan, you can't win everybody. But let's say out of 10, he won 8, or out of 10, he won 6. That's still high. There are people on this planet that out of 10 would win 0.
People what? Say it again.
There are people on this planet Earth that out of 10, they would hit 0, maybe 0.1%.
You think
they're not attractive?
You want them to get
Let's take the person with the black toes. Let's take that person. Y'all rejected the person with the black toes, and you don't even know them. You rejected them because they got black toenails, and that's a fungus on their toenails.
I think that's a pretty damn good reason.
You can say that, but what is
good reason?
But what is you though?
Bruh, he said black toenails with the corn smell like corn. I'm sorry.
But y'all missing a point. If everybody agrees with y'all, that means nobody's even giving that person
no. Someone is going to accept. That's what I'm saying. I believe there's someone for everybody, right? I see these people on, what's that show called? 60 with my 600-pound. They're married.
It don't get no realer than that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so somebody is going to accept the fungi, black cornhole, toenails, whatever, but it's just not gonna be me or him, whatever.
But that's my point. Because the people that you refer to, they're in the minority. Majority of people are like y'all. And they have that thought process. That's what I'm pulling out, is they think the way y'all think. Them people doing that 600 pounds, that's not the minority. I mean, that's not the majority. They're in the few. The regular American thinks like y'all. And they are going to accept the standard the same way y'all accept it. And the person listening to us right now is agreeing with y'all. The person that's the 600-pound person, they agreeing with me. Because they let that weight and all that slide. They let the toe fungus slide. But y'all not letting the toe fungus slide. And they're supposed to have great morals, great income, all these good things.
Yes, and that doesn't take away from who they are. They're just not for me.
They could put socks on.
That's it. No.
But you can still smell it.
Now you won't be able to smell it. A lot of people got.
If they got fungus, you go. All right, you gonna smell that.
Now remember, when the toenail turns black, that's a fungus. It don't.
Okay, all right, okay. So like, toenails and shit. Look, all I'm gonna say is, you know, it's okay to be a little open minded when you're dating, but at the end of the day, you gotta date the person. Don't nobody else gotta date the motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right. That's the reality on that. And
end it off on that. Then my point is, and this is why we gonna say 80% of people are single.
I don't know what the percentage is.
It's
probably
got to be
high.
higher than 60, 70.
It could be.
It's got to be high. So my point is this. My final point is, y'all are correct, but this is why people gonna stay single, and this is why people ain't gonna be in a relationship, because they gonna keep on rejecting people for those reasons. And now I'm done.
Okay. And on that note, all right, we're gonna move right along into the next topic. Next topic is, has social media killed relationships? All right. I actually thought of this topic because I was having this conversation with a homegirl of mine. Very interesting conversation. And we were just kind of talking about, actually it started with the fellas, and then I had this conversation with one of my homegirls. And I was just talking about just how options, I ain't gonna say options. Too many options could be a problem. Too many options. Or I don't even want to call them options. Options to me only count as options when you've identified the other person sees you as an option. If that ain't the case, it wouldn't be an option. So I would just say, let me rephrase that. I would just say opportunities. It's a lot more opportunities because of social media. And in the past, you know, if a guy and a woman met that liked each other, that, you know, maybe, you know, the attraction was there on both ends and all of that, then maybe he took her on a date, they did a couple of dates, this, that, and the third, and they kind of just locked in and focused on each other. Now, what tends to happen, because it happens a lot, and I've been guilty of this in the past myself, but the thing of it is when there is all of these opportunities out there, we are on both sides, male and female, are being hypergamous, because we are trying to actually see, okay, well, yeah, okay, cool, this is cool, I got this over here, but I might want that though, but not realizing that this is a never-ending process.
Yeah,
it never ends, because you get, okay, let's say you get who you want in that moment and in that time or whatnot, but then something else comes along that seems a little bit more appealing than the last person or whatnot, and now it's that game, and then you play the next option game or opportunity game, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that and you got celebrities, you know, we're seeing their everyday lives on social media. A lot of people are wanting to be these celebrities, thinking that they don't get flew out, thinking that they're going to get this particular type of lifestyle, being absolutely delusional.
I mean, okay, so one thing you're forgetting to touch on, okay, so you talked about options, illusion of options or whatever, but with that comes comparing too, right? And yes. I myself have been guilty of it. I have, and I had to catch myself. I'm like, okay, you know what? This person is who they are. They're a unique individual. Why am I comparing myself and my own relationship to someone else's relationship, someone other circumstance, someone else's, because they have a different lifestyle, they have a different personality. So when you see these like comparisons, and you're just like, well, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? So you start questioning your own relationship, right? You start questioning everything that's going on, even though they may show love differently than whatever is presented on social media. That doesn't make them less as a person. That just means that they're their own individual and that's how they show love. But you get to think in your head that this isn't it. This isn't good enough. And it goes to the illusion of options. Well, I deserve better. I could do better. Right. And so that gets to what we were talking about before, but it's not really reality. It's just, they are who they are. They have their flaws. And before social media, we didn't have this. I mean, yeah, maybe we compare to family, friends, or whatever, people we knew.
Yeah, you'll do
But
that for sure.
now it's like everyone, influencers, you see reels, you see podcasts, you see memes, it's like, oh, goals, this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I want to be goals. Like, and I will say in some cases, it does make certain people in situations like look at it and reflect and say, okay, maybe this isn't serving me. I'm not saying it doesn't help in some situations, but I'm saying like in regular good situations, you start like really thinking that something was wrong with your partner and that you need to move on and that, so then you get single again.
But this goes right back to the outward. It's all outward. You cannot judge a person from the screen. So if you even consider that person an option, there we go. There go the problem right there. You actually got on the internet and looked at pictures and said, I got options. You went on the internet, looked in your inbox and said, I got options. You don't know none of these people. You didn't even take the time to get to know this person. So how do we consider a person an option that we have not taken the time to get to know? There goes the problem right there.
Because social media gives you that illusion that you do know them. You do know their life. You know who they are.
Yeah.
So
That's
feel familiar.
That it's an outward thing. Once again, this is external. None of that's internal. None of that reflects how they think, how they behave, because you cannot collect that information from a website, from an Instagram page, because they can put whatever perception they want out there. So if you actually believe their perception, there goes the problem right there. If you actually got on the internet and believed that's who he was, then we got bigger problems.
Right.
Because you actually believe this person was an option because they is there. And what up, bro? Hey, girl, you look good. So now they're an option and you already got a man? That's crazy. Maybe that's me, though. But again, I'm going to take it back to where I was at earlier. It's all external. And if you are making relationship judgments on anything external, good luck.
Oh yeah, I mean it happens with men and women. Like you'll see a girl on social, she's this and that. I don't know, tits and that, whatever men like to see, and they're like, "Damn, my girl don't do this anymore. She don't do." It's just like.
But why would he be doing that? That shows you something is not right up here. You comparing your woman to somebody on the internet? That's crazy. You don't even know. But this is why I'm saying we in the cycle we in. Because if that's normal, then wouldn't it make sense why we got the problems we got with relationships and dating?
You know what it is? They forget that they're human. They just see this like, it's almost like a fantasy, right? When they wake up in the morning, their breath still stinks.
Yeah.
Their shit still stinks. They do everything like everyone else. They still get sick, but that's not what they're. Do you think that's what they're going to show on the internet? No, they're going to show the best versions of themselves. But people are it's called something. If one of you can tell me what it is, that would be great.
What do you mean, like that?
So, like when you see someone online or on TV, whatever, you start like getting this like. Or idealizing or having this ideology in your head about who they are as a person, but you don't see them as a person. You see them as some sort of fantasy, forgetting that they still shit. Their breath stinks in the morning. Like there's still flaws that they have, but people don't see that. They don't think about that, and so they're like, "Oh, well, this person is just amazing. What am I doing? What am I doing with this person? How are they serving me?" And I can't think of the name. I can't think of the name from it, but people do that. That's not.
No, I know exactly what you mean now. And I like social media. It's all fake. It's all fake. And the crazy thing of it is that for me, it's just entertainment. Well, now I get paid for doing it now. It's just fun and games to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Entertainment. Nothing more, nothing less. And people really will judge who they think a person is on social media. Just based off which is crazy to me.
Oh, crazy.
It's crazy. And, I've met several women, over the years on social media, and they'll meet me. We'll meet in person, and they say, "You really don't seem like nothing like the guy that's on social media." I said,
It's the persona.
I joke a lot. A lot. Oh, I'm joking. Like, if you taking this shit serious, like, something's up with you. I joke a lot on there. I'm introverted.
They'll create who they think you are, because there's some crazy person on. I remember comment. I don't know where the hell it. Anyway,
I remember. Yeah, yeah.
They will, but that's an example. They create like who they think you are to fit whatever narrative. I don't know. It's weird. People will do that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the crazy thing about the only thing I've done over the years as far as social media or over time is try to keep whatever I talk about, have some balance. If I'm going to say stuff about women, I need to be saying some stuff about men too. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I think I've evolved in that area. Otherwise, he hates women. Oh my God. Like, oh my God, he hates women. I do not hate women.
I've seen you starting to say like both things, like men and women.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, I think that, and it's kind of, we live in this world now. It is what it is now. But it almost makes you wonder, is the best way to start back dating the way we used to date before there was a social media?
Which is what?
The best way is to get to know somebody. Why are people not getting to know people?
No, that's in general. But what I mean is just, we didn't have social media growing up. How did we meet whoever we met? We met them, been somewhere. You were here. You met them there. Not saying that per se matters or whatnot, but I think that, it has to be a mix-up balance or whatever. And I can say for me for a while, because, I really don't get out that heavy like that. You know what I'm saying? I take care of my son. I take care of my business. And I'm not outside like that. You know what I mean? But there should be a healthy mix-up with how you're meeting people. It shouldn't just be here. Kind of like me and you talk about, JB, all the time. Like maybe, these are the type of women you're interested in. Maybe you should be more in those places, but not intentionally going to those places. If you're a person that has an eye on business, put yourself around more of that energy. If you're a person which I do go to church, put yourself around that energy, put yourself around a community, to attract and come across the type of people that you would choose to deal with. Because, social media is a fucking illusion at the end of the day. And that's just what it is. It's an illusion. It's the Matrix. I call it the Matrix.
Yeah, it's the Matrix. I think I'm going to watch that tonight.
It's classic.
All of this is always going to be the same thing. It doesn't, whenever we're talking about dating, it's always going to come down to external things, and people have to learn how to figure out what a person possesses inside. That's what matters at the end of the day, because it don't matter. If we really want to make this real, everybody sitting up here liking people, you never even get to a point where you get to know them. Because why? What you brought up earlier. Well, you can meet them in public. They don't want to go on coffee dates. They don't want to do this. So that's a whole nother arena. How to date. Should you take them here? You never even get to a place where you probably even said, we're just going to isolate ourselves. It's so difficult to just get to a place now to say, me and you one-on-one, nobody else. So even when you get there, you still may not get to marriage. So even if you get to marriage, you still likely to get divorced. So all of this stuff that we talking about, if it doesn't even mean nothing in the long run, you still more than likely are going to end up alone. Even if you find somebody, even if you get somebody you think you got, you now have to keep them. And this is what don't nobody know how to do.
It's the continuation. It's like they don't want to stick it through. Like they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I got somebody, but it's like, not every day is gonna be good, right? Not every day is gonna be peachy keen. There's gonna be days when they drive you fucking crazy. There will be those days, and in those days, are you going to be thinking, oh, okay, I love this person, but they're driving me crazy right now, or are you going to be thinking, you know what? I don't even want to deal with them anymore. And I'm talking about menial things. I'm not talking about extreme things of cheating, abuse, whatever. I'm talking about just regular, everyday human shit that people don't want to deal with. And actually, I do agree with you on that. For sure.
Yeah, good. So to me, I just look at it as, and I go, what is the point of any of this if you're still going to lose the person? If you have not learned how to maintain and keep them, it's all a waste of time. You fought so hard to go through social media. You fought so hard to go through dates. You fought so hard to travel and link up and do all these things, and you're vibing and this all just to get to a point where you go, I hate that guys, I won't be one no more. And then you go right back in the same food and then do it all again. What is
right?
Stupid?
It's definitely like that. And the crazy thing is, what I always say too is like I'm not big on dates out the gate. I prefer a ton of dialogue first and trying to get to know, because you can get to know a lot about a person over the phone to build that rapport before you even hit the date. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think it's a lot cooler when you do it that way versus I met them on Monday and Saturday we're going on a date. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk a couple weeks. I mean, minimum at least. Minimum.
A couple weeks? Yeah, you need a couple weeks?
Huh?
You need a couple weeks?
Yes, I would like at least at minimum a couple weeks, because here's the thing. Hopefully we have lives, so I'm busy. We might not be able to dig in and really talk as much because, you're on the go, I'm on the go. We're busy. Maybe she has children. I have you see what I'm saying? So 2 weeks, really is not a long time considering that we have hopefully we have lives, right? And so the thing of it is that you take the time and you build that rapport over the phone. Like, I don't just take women on dates. I used to be a serial dater. Oh, she look good. I like her vibe. We go on a date. I was serious. Oh my God. Listen, let me tell you something. I done spent so much money. I done spent so much money on dates over all these years. And it's got me absolutely nowhere. Well, I wouldn't say, nowhere to the goal. The goal of dating should be, hopefully at some point, to get to a marriage, if that's what you're striving for, obviously, if that's what you're striving for. And so, like in my particular case, it probably led to sex, but it's not led to nothing that really meant anything, because if that was the case, they'd still be around right now. Now, it could be a new revolving door. I'm dating this one or dating that one, but I'm kind of falling off that, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't, and you don't really realize it until you're actually doing it, until you in it and realizing like, dang, I can't date or deal with all of these women at one time. It's too much work. I don't really have the time to do it, and things like that. So that's pretty much what I'll say, you know what I'm saying, to end out the topic. I'll definitely just say there's 2 things you go on. There can only be 2, maybe 3, but I'm going to go with 2. One of them is to lead to marriage at some point. Some people just like to date for the sake of companionship.
Yeah.
Which, whatever, I guess, right? If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. And so those are the 2 main things and main reasons to date in the first place. Because if you're dating to get to nowhere and to get to no end goal, what is the point of doing all of this dating?
Yeah, but ain't that the question in general? Because that's where red pill is. Don't get married. So
Yeah.
what's the point of
Well, that
any
would
of it?
what they would fall under, as Jessica call them, the red pill mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what's
Yeah.
That,
Red
because
Pill
guess what?
Mafia.
they will they will fall under dating for companionship. Red pill would. So
Yeah, so here's
some
my
people
point.
are like that.
Is if we are dating, can we stop creating children then? Can we stop creating can we
That's a
date
good
without creating
well,
children?
yeah,
That's what
I
I want to
mean,
know.
I think
Yeah.
that should be, I mean, I know people and no judgment, like I know stuff happens. I mean, I was created out of wedlock, right? I think the preferred
A lot of us
method,
were though. Yeah, a lot
that's
of us
what I'm
were.
saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to like judge or whatever. But I think that's a preferred method is to be have in a single family household, like two parents married or whatever. But life doesn't. But to seek
But we
that
can't.
or to like,
But we can't say that because the one night stand at the club is what got you pregnant.
Yeah.
See, the consequences that you made a conscious decision to sleep with a person and not marry. What's the marry before you carry? The problem is that people are so okay with sex,
yeah,
but not okay with marriage.
Yeah.
because yeah, we're a sexualized society. I mean, people don't sex is just an initial feeling. That's like the instant gratification. That's not the real shit. You're not going to marriage is real shit. That's like the real shit that you have to go through, like the hard thing. Sex, I mean, that's easy. Like you can get that. But I think that's the problem. It's instant gratification versus like longevity.
But that's the problem is that men today, these young boys don't want to be married, but they're not stopping having sex. And what happens when you consistently have sex? You make babies eventually. And I can't speak for women in this case, but I can tell you this: most guys will eventually start to think with the wrong head. And sometimes when you doing what you do, them thoughts ain't right up there.
Well, I think from a woman's perspective, I mean, yeah, we're sexual too, but also at the same time, we want love, and so we're equating that with, okay, well, he's giving me this attention, he's giving me this affection, so I'm going to give it to him, not realizing like, okay, if I get pregnant, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna marry me? No. So, but in that moment, he is paying attention to me. He's loving on me. He's doing this. He's doing that. And so that's what I'm saying from a woman's perspective. That's what we're thinking. And in that moment, it feels good. But
I believe that, but I'm referring to all the guys that knowingly shot the club up. This happens way more than men want to admit.
Oh yeah, it happens. It has been.
And then be mad when somebody get pregnant.
Mad at the result.
Knowingly doing this.
That's
and
a fact.
What I'm saying is that mentality in that moment when the guy goes, I'm going to shoot the club up. He ain't thinking. Matter of fact, in that moment, he's so not able to think functionally that he'll do it multiple times, 3 or 4 or 5 times. And it's not till the next day or the next morning, he's like, whoa, this is where Plan B's come in. This is where all these other
Plan B after you shot up everybody.
Because now he got to live with the fact that, dang, I really just did that. And there are a lot of young men that fall victim to that. And so you can't stop the baby mama, baby father culture because as long as you're actively, and I'm not even referring to women in this case, if there are young men, 18, 19, 16, 22, out there sleeping around, they will get someone pregnant.
Yeah.
They definitely will.
Yeah.
There's very few that got the discipline to not do it. But the majority of them, they will. This is why right when you get to college age, people start popping out babies like crazy. It's because that discipline, you run out of it. You cave. And then we ain't gonna add it at times when the moments go, you want to have my baby, give me, and that stuff going on, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Be out of there.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, and like I said, to end this topic off tonight or whatnot, as far as the social media and, and what is there to relationships, obviously sex has become a gazillion times easier due to it. So that creates other things. And, it never stops. I mean, this is something, this is the matrix we live in now. This is the world we actually live in now and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I mean, hopefully if you got some damn sense or whatnot, you move right and move with the right intentions based off who it is that you decide that you want to deal with or whatnot. So, to end it out for tonight on this note, I'll tell y'all to be as smart as you possibly can and don't end up with a child you don't want to with a child by somebody you shouldn't be having a child with. And I'll end it on that note. Yes, wrap it up. Do what you need to do. And sometimes it can be hard. I've been there. Trust me, I get it. It's I don't like it. I'm gonna say this, and we gonna get out. It's been times where I said, man, maybe I should settle down so I can just focus and just deal with one woman only, because it just makes things a lot safer or whatever. But hey, to end it out on that note or whatnot, want to definitely thank y'all for rocking with us on another episode of Don't Hit Send. Peace.